Do you hit your head?
Oh my god.
I will go next to Madame Sprout and just put my hands on top of the frog. Safe. Very safe.
Eternal Oscar right now. Notice that Bubbles does a thing where the sides of Bubbles' mouth kind of stretch to the sides and curl downwards and you can sense what Bubbles is thinking, really, you think I'm good at this kind of stuff?
I was just gonna look at him and was like, no, but I don't think I'm any better. You really want me to go up to that man and go oh, it's okay, she wasn't much of a loss. See, I can't.
Bubbles kind of points inside their mouth. And just you know what Bubbles is saying the whole time, and Bubbles is just trying to communicate. I can't even talk.
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Ghostly, I think this might be for you.
What's that then?
Go give Brian a hug.
Oh, Brian's upset because the Xintas and bits on the floor.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god. There we go. You guys can all be heard now.
Hello
Yeah,
chat,
sure.
if anyone is there.
Hi.
If not, hello the void.
There's 2 people watching right now. Is
hello
that you
the
two?
Yeah.
people.
Oh my
No,
god.
that's not me.
Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god, it's 2 people that isn't us. Holy fucking shit. Oh fuck.
I'm just doing some pre-stream coloring. I feel like a child.
Yes. Don't mind us.
Are you gonna share your screen with us, Gabriel?
I am trying to figure that one out because I don't think it allows me to
No?
do
Okay.
it on here. Maybe I can. I'll try.
We'll just have to watch you on lag on the stream.
I wonder if I can also video here. Does it let me?
20-second delay.
I'm seeing something.
Oh,
Something's-
okay. There's these spinning
loading.
balls. Okay, no. I've tried this before and it doesn't work. Hello,
Okay, I'll just watch you.
Lido Bad Wolf. Is that?
Edilo.
Edilo Bad Wolf. Hey, hello, Cahill, as well.
Hi, Kaha.
What I can do is I can share my Twitch stream, my Twitch stream thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm watching you on the stream right now, but it's like, it's always got about a 20-second delay, I think.
Okay. Well,
That's the
this is.
only
Oh
thing.
shoot! You're gonna hear
Yeah.
yourself on this now.
Double.
Oh my.
Intense.
Double whammy, oh my
Wait,
god.
there's certainly I can figure this one out. It's like a
look like
puzzle.
a
It's like a
teacher.
riddle, obviously. Edilo.
You look like an
That's
you look
Moss.
like an actual teacher right now. Gabe. Just
I know.
giving you a heads
I can't escape it. As soon as I went to Japan, I just came back looking like a teacher forever.
up. You are
Okay.
education now.
This is my
Education.
education color chart thing that I'm doing right now for the chat. Hold up. Alright. Maybe I can video. Maybe I can put on the
Oh
camera.
god, I can hit double of myself.
Yeah, I know. Hold up. I'm gonna figure out a way to open up my. I don't know.
Life. Yeah.
Life is tricky.
Don't worry, technical difficulties, chat. We're doing great.
It's all the eaters, I think, currently at the
Oh,
moment.
Yeah.
hello, the eaters. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Why are you not on call?
Yeah, man. You can join.
They knew that I would have the video problems, so they figured it out.
Yeah. Okay, Maggie's here, can listen
Hello,
but can't
Mag.
speak for now. That's
Okay,
fine.
that's perfect.
Hey, bitch.
Hey, bitch.
I can say that you can't defend yourself.
I have no idea how
I
to share my...
can.
Oh, hello.
I'm
Brutal. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
That's how you make them appear. Just call them.
Let me see.
Hold on a bit.
Camera! Come on, camera. Come on.
Wait, you guys streaming?
I am streaming,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Bye.
Okay, yeah, so I think this thing just dominates my camera while I'm using it and doesn't let me just show my
Okay.
camera anywhere else.
That's fine.
So...
Okay.
Oh, Craig's not here. Okay. Cool. Oh, we have 7 people? Wait, that's more than all the Yeeters. Oh, you two are also watching, are you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Just to see
watching.
if you show anything.
Okay.
I'm watching.
Cool.
I'm not watching because I can't.
dare
I'm on
you.
the iPad, so I can't do that.
It's fine, it's okay. So, I'm just gonna finish my little coloring. And then I'm gonna explain some of the lore.
Hell yeah.
Heck
Teach
yeah.
us.
I
Oh,
will
senpai.
teach you guys the fuck.
Queen Sensei, I want to be educated.
I want the education.
I'm scared.
We paid £9,000 for this.
You did? Okay, here we go. I have Gostar, which is a big star. It's a big, colorful, 6-sided star. When it's all, if you were to unfold it into a 2D shape, but if you fold it all together, you get a big floating ball sack in outer space. All right. So here we go. This is. I never wanted to be a ball sack. It was meant to be like a teardrop. That was the idea.
Yeah.
It looks like a teardrop. It looks like a singular ball sack.
Yeah,
So
but then everyone just kept calling it the ball sack world. So I guess it's the ball sack world.
duality.
Yeah. So, hold on, let's start with, okay, so, I'm gonna write down, I actually need to check my notes, what the name of I'm just gonna call this at the moment. Edit. Yeah, at the beginning there was a big yeet, and all creation happened. That's exactly what happened, actually.
That is how the world is created.
There was a deity known as Gaia, and she led a bunch of her fellow gods out of the chaos where they once existed and into what became Gostar. They pushed against the wall of the chaos altogether. They pushed so hard. Think of the chaos as this big mass. That's everything. Everything was chaos initially, and around it was just nothingness. So in the chaos existed all the deities and all these titans and everything else. And they got sick of it and they wanted to go somewhere else. So one of them, a little renegade group of gods, pushed against the walls of the chaos. They stretched it out and pushed it so far away that it began to just stretch out like a ball sack. So this is this is the chaos here, and this is they pushed out until they got a big stretched ball sack here. And then the base. So this is Gostar now. This is where the gods. This is what the gods made. And towards the base, this all kind of cooled as it got further away from the chaos. So it became less crazy and less all over the place. The chaos is just literal chaos. There's fire burning into ice, then melting down into stone, and then the stone explodes into eyeballs, and those eyeballs burst into wind, and then that wind turns into a hurricane of lava, that kind of thing. That's constantly going on the whole time in the chaos.
Yes.
So if you were to travel up Gostar towards the chaos, Gostar gets progressively more insane, and stuff begins floating and everything else. But towards the base, towards the lower half of Gostar, towards the base here, is pretty stable, and you get a lot of the world that you guys have experienced, or that you guys would have lived in as your characters. And so yeah, cooled and solidified, and then you have that ballsack world, which is Gostar. And so that whole region is then split up into 6 different places, 6 different regions. So you have the green one, which is the Vale, which all the story is taking place in at the moment. And you know, obviously, towards the center of this star then is where everything is pretty stable. But as the points of the star stretch out, that's them stretching towards the chaos at the outside. And so you start to get the oceans and everything else. You get the closest thing to the ocean in the Vale is Bale Green, where Ebic is from. And beyond that, then lots of pirates go out onto the ocean, and eventually that ocean fizzles out into floating space. It's just space with floating islands and everything else. So the Vale is very kind of vanilla fantasy world. It's you know, you got your trees, you got your jungles, you got your it's all very basic. It's all very cookie cutter fantasy worlds, and it's heavily
quickly,
yeah.
Sorry, before we keep going, is there, because we just kind of jumped into it, is there anyone in chat who has no fucking idea what's going on?
I don't know. Actually, that's an excellent question. I will explain what's going on just for anyone watching.
Oh yeah, we all know, but if anyone's new, they're like, what is he talking about?
I'm just a crazy guy on TV, everybody. Hey, I'm just saying things into my mind. Yeah, we got 10 people watching, which is kind of cool. Hello, everyone watching.
Hello, the 10 people watching.
Some are Yeeters, some are PB Rebellion, some are just newcomers.
Some are just random people who stumbled across this and has no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, so, hi, my name's Gabriel Galway. I should have done this introduction a while ago. I am a dungeon master. Sounds dodgy.
That does.
It does sound dodgy. I'm a game master. That sounds nerdy. It is nerdy. It's incredibly nerdy. So I tell stories, and everyone else you can hear. Thanks, Maggie. Everyone in this chat currently who you can hear in the background around me in space are players who play Dungeons and Dragons with me. I tell the stories and I make up the NPCs, all the other characters, and they play as different heroes or villains or anti-heroes or whatever you like within this world. They each play their own character, and they interact with the world that I've built. I'll lay out story plots, lay out characters, lay out worlds, lay out towns, cities, and everyone else interacts with it, plays in that world, tries to save people, tries to figure out their own character's story. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's like trying to explain a dream that you've had to someone else. Yeah, it's interactive storytelling is essentially what it is. But if you know Dungeons and Dragons, if you're watching the stream, then you probably know what Dungeons and Dragons is. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's a good introduction.
Yeah.
We should have had that at the beginning.
Yeah, I think we just lost 3 viewers, but that's fine.
It's like, oh god, it's Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't read that.
Holy shit.
Boston.
Okay, so I am describing the world currently that all these heroes are in, and it's a bit different now at the moment, but typically every Friday and every Sunday we play Dungeons and Dragons. The Yeeters, which is one party of adventurers, they play every Friday at around 6:30 p.m. GMT, so Greenwich Mean Time. And every Sunday at 12 p.m. we have the PB Rebellion group, which woo! You can hear some of the members there.
Enthusiastic ones.
Depends what you're enthusiastic about. The Yeeters are very enthusiastic about eating heads. That's how they got their name.
Yeah.
You gotta find something you're good at and just keep doing that.
You stick to your strengths. But yeah, so we have 2 groups at the moment. There's a third group as well who have played in this. Thank you, Cole. There's a third group who are kind of the beta questers, although some of them hate that name, but they are basically the beta testers for this world. They're the first ones who played through it. They're all around level 18 now, which is almost the highest level you can be, and they've been playing this game with me for about 3 years. So through those 3 years, together with them, and also with you guys now, I've built this entire world, this big universe that you guys all exist in, this multiverse. And each one of you are playing through a similar storyline all the way through, but you guys, different things are happening as you're playing essentially in the same world, but in an alternate reality of that world. Okay.
There you go.
This is a bit heavy, but yeah.
Now back into the ball sack, please.
Back into the ball sack. Okay, diving straight back into the ball sack. Head first. We have this world that everyone is playing in right now. That is there we go. That is split into 6 regions. Each region is ruled by, or was ruled by, a Fey Lord. There are 6 of them, or at least there was 6 of them, all ruling each region. They divided the world into sections so they could each rule over it. And in each region, there's specific gods and deities who worship more than others. There's different types of terrain, and I'm going to explain all of that now. Also on the call, Patema just asked, is Rail in Quill? Yeah. Or you can give me introductions for yourself, actually.
Yeah. Oh God. Do you want to go first, Kat?
Okay, hello. My name's Kat. I play Quill in the PB Rebellion, which is on Sunday, as Gabriel said. I'm a bard and a rogue, and I am 4 foot tall. There you go.
Perfect. Nice one. You're half goblin, half tiefling.
Yes, I am also a thiebling, so if anyone has any questions about what happened with that, you can ask for it if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Wow.
Patema says hi, Kat.
Hello, Patema.
Oh my goodness.
And then Sharis, do you want to give yourself and Rail a little
I guess it's
introduction?
me. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sharis. I am also in PB Rebellion, and I play the changeling paladin Rael. He's very stubborn and quite bossy. He's a military man, but he's starting to smile a bit more, which is nice. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have more moments where he smiles with his teammates. So yay!
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
And Patema says, hello, Sharis.
Hi, Patema.
Oh, #1.
I'm in.
Hey!
Oh,
Whoa.
God.
Okay. You didn't even ask for permission first. I don't think I'm ready.
I apologize.
Okay.
You wanna
Hello,
introduce
Joya.
yourself?
Maggie, do you want to introduce yourself? And
Yeah, let's
who you
go
play?
for it. Okay, hello everybody that is watching. My name is Maggie Mikan and I play as Oscar from PB Rebellion, the one and only. Woo! I am probably the only happy person in our team.
Pretty
I play as a beautiful, handsome, Furbolg druid. Who's like every single lady in this universe seems to be very attracted to for some reason. For some reason.
He's a himbo.
For some reason.
But
Say
I'm
one
just
thing
I'm
and
just
look
vibing. I love
adorable.
plants. I love my animals and yeah, I'm having fun.
Oh, were you about to say something else?
You're gonna say something and
What
then you're
else
like,
do you
"Oh."
love?
I am very silent. You heard nothing.
And with a big hello, Patema says, hi, Maggie.
Hi, Tim.
I'm adding some icons here just for you guys who have joined the chat. But I don't know if they're
Thank
popping up or
you.
not. We'll try it. Anyway.
I don't know.
Mystery.
I don't have Twitch.
They
on
might
my
be here,
phone.
who knows? But they're...
Who knows?
Oh no, what have I done? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh,
stop
no.
stop doing whatever you do. There we go, we're fine.
Encoding icons.
I'm here just to bully Gabe. I already took like 3 therapy screenshots. I'm going to get them again.
Oh.
Oh no! Why did you make me so
I
large?
You're gonna shrink down a little bit, don't worry.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine.
We got Oscar. Big old cutesy Oscar
Hopefully.
boy.
You cannot hear yourself, but you most likely can. So.
There we go. So currently in this chat, we've got these 4 lovely individuals. I'll put you down here. There you go. Nice and snug. Okay. So we got Boop. Oh no. Oh, it's all the other way around. So we got Rail up here, Changeling Paladin. It'd suck if they're not actually here right now. We got Quill. This is really weird trying to do this, but we got Quill here. All the way. Quill. And we got Oscar on that side of the screen. I don't know if that's left or right. Woo! Okay, and yeah, perfect. I'll jump back into giving a little bit of lore. I'll try to keep it as light as I can, and try to keep it as relevant as well. Not to give away too many spoilers either. Perfect. Oh, nice. You can see them all. Nice. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so the Vale. This green blob here is where most of the story is taking place currently. Vanilla fantasy realm. Currently, you guys are right up here towards the top of the Vale, towards the center. Currently, all asleep in Lilith's tower. Okay, I won't say any more on that. But then Chult, which is the dream reality that you were in, it's a copy of Chult that you guys were currently in, is towards the bottom half, or towards the center of the green thing. So there is kind of where Chult is. It's right on the peninsula. It's the furthest point, one of the furthest points from the Vale into the ocean. Then moving around, we've got the blue area, which is Olympus, also known as the Thunder Plains. So this region is split into 3 layers. So you've got the underground layer, which is Old Olympus, which is where it all used to exist. And then with a great wizard who ruled over Olympus at one point, called Tensor, he developed a sort of technology that could elevate the cities and towns at the base of Olympus and rise them up into the skies. So up in the sky you have hundreds of floating countries and kingdoms and everything else above Old Olympus, and this is known as New Olympus. And then you've got the middle ground between the two, which was once covered in, which then after New Olympus rose up into the sky, they had to create loads of pipelines and loads of technology stuff to allow people to transport between Old Olympus and New Olympus. And eventually that thing got covered in dust and rubble from the sky cities, and then it created a whole flat plain between both of these worlds. So you have this totally flat desert land known as the Thunder Plains, and it's called the Thunder Plains because all these floating islands above it are rumbling with loads of arcane energy that create giant lightning clouds in the skies. So this place is constantly filled with lightning storms. And it's heavily based, the whole world is inspired by Greek mythology as well. Ptolemy says, and make floater bikes. So Tensor is famous for making things float, and he has. It's quite. It's a very steampunky world. This region, and there's lots of things. There's lots of like flying cars and flying ships and everything else. So that is the Thunder Plains. Then you got Limbo, which is here. So this is Limbo, and this is typically like weird, like 80s or 70s sci-fi world, with lots of weird alien-like plants, and everything's warped. There was a lot of psychic wars that went on here a long time ago. So all the lands here are warped and twisted and spiral into weird designs. You have corkscrew-like mountains, and a lot of mind flayers and other weird creatures live here. And a lot of weird mind fuckery goes on in this area. So that's Limbo. It's the majority of the population is made up of mind flyers, who are people who eat brains. A lot of slavery goes on here too. Then you've got Tawn, which is this red one, or it's also known as the Fire Nation. I can't use the Fire Nation because it's very similar to the Avatar. So I'm trying to avoid using the Fire Nation, but it's so fitting. And this is a big fiery realm, full of volcanoes and very tall mountains, like the ones from Chinese mythology. You know, you see them in the paintings. That there's these big, long lumps going through the skies. Hello, Dizzy20. They say wait. Okay. I will wait. I did! I created Multiverse. I created the entire world. That is me. Yeah, thank you. So
He is indeed God.
Hello, children.
He is called God, actually.
Thank you. I don't know who Dizzy20 is, but hello, welcome. I am, yes, thank you. I am the God, the one and only, obviously. And I have Batman wallpaper. Well, it's not wallpaper, it's actually comic books that I pasted on with PVA, but who's asking? Thank you.
Adapt.
Yeah.
Reuse.
Galaxy Brain. Thank you. Wow, I'm going to use that on my CV now that I am Galaxy Brain boy. Thank you. So, going back to the world where this multiverse is taking place in, Tawn, which is the red area here, in this ballsack world, is based off of Chinese mythology. So it's both Chinese mythology and it's a cyberpunk world as well. It's very futuristic, also very you can't say Oriental anymore, can you? So it's like it's very traditional Chinese mythology, folklore, all that kind of stuff, mixed with a lot of futuristic stuff. There's one massive city that lives at the center of Tawn, and it is Lilith's kingdom. She is the Fey Lord of Tawn, or the Fire Nation. And it's this massive volcano that is all built on. And there are just tons of layers throughout this whole thing. It's a very futuristic city. And all around there, then there are lots of temples and monasteries up in the mountainous areas. And it's quite a religious region. There's both a lot of war in this place and a lot of peace. It's this very yin and yang dynamic in Tawn. There's lots of there's a huge sex industry there, and there's also a huge religious industry there as well. Like he says, hold on, you said I did say Lilith. Sorry, not Lilith. Lucy, Lucifer.
Dude.
Her nickname is Lucy. She's a 100-foot tall gold woman who rules over.
She's hot.
She's incredibly hot. All my villains are incredibly
In
hot.
panic.
It makes them hard to kill.
One day there was a bunch of us.
A bunch of simps fighting my my masterpieces. I had to give them some sort of cover.
What you're talking about.
Maggie, I'm looking at you.
Dizzy20 says, I see much bigger diagram with 14 plus verses. Also, question, I am preparing big campaign actually in Multiverse with jumps between planes and crazy stuff. Could you tell me a little bit about Pandemonium and Ziggly? Okay, also biggest thank you for creating all of the crazy stuff.
Yo, boss, I didn't know you were famous.
I am not. I think you might be confusing me with the rest of Wizards of the Coast, but maybe I can play this up. Yes, I invented all those places, actually. Yeah, I invented Pandemonium and all of the elemental planes, and where's my DM's book? There's a few other ones.
You gotta fake it till you make it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can go about. You know what? I actually don't know anything about those places. I know very little, but there are versions of them in my world. I've taken inspiration from them and put them in my world. So I can tell you what I've done with them in my whole world.
If that's what you want, Dizzy.
If that's what you
can
want,
do
Dizzy
that.
20. Yeah, this is a very homebrew world that I've created, but a lot of inspiration has come from that. For example, Limbo is very much based on Pandemonium. But it's a little more. How do I explain it? It's a little more grounded. There are a lot of weird things going on, but I've put in a lot of. There's a lot of variety in this place. There's one region called there's one area called the Toxic Jungle, which is a whole jungle made out of fungus, which is in a crater below a canopy of mountains / trees made of coral, which kind of surround this poisonous jungle like a cocoon, and then you've got these cliff tops made of coral, where a lot of dunamancy magic comes from. It's the origin of dunamancy magic. And beyond that, then there are these mountains, which are these huge constructions made by illithids, by mind flayers. They're just literally they're like giant beetle shells, the size of mountains, and inside there's hundreds of civilizations of mind flayers and everything else. And yeah, sorry Dizzy20 for the disappointing message there. I'll go back though to then the next region as well, which is Guinea, also known as the Plague Lands, which is this black area, and it's ruled over by a person known as Titus, the Fey Lord there. I look like skinny Henry Cavill. Who is?
That's such a good
Who
reference.
is he? Henry Cavill.
Dude, it's Geralt.
Oh shit! All right, yeah, thank you. Who the fuck is this guy? Superman. Yeah. No, thank you. Wow. Oh, shit. All right. I should start lifting weights. Nice.
Oh, God.
Get small, get
Yeah. Become the true Henry you wanted to
Oh
be.
god. Whew, it's warm in here. Whew. I used to put my face on the interwebs. Okay. Thank you, Dizzy20. I do occasionally slay monsters as a side
have
job.
a large dog.
I
You
have
a large dog?
I have a dog. I have a dog.
Enough.
He's called Buddy.
That works. We're close enough.
He's a very generic dog, but we don't know what breed he is. He's just a mixture of like 5 or 6 different breeds.
Just the true dog.
Get some socks. Start an OnlyFans. Thanks, Patema. Soxy Gabe, that's me. We love dub. Say it all the time. It's my catchphrase. I love socks. Rub them on my face. Put them on my ears. It's me.
I'm sorry, that was my branding. How dare you?
Do you want to join me? We both share eggs anyway. That sounds weird.
People watching this must be so confused.
What the fuck? They have eggs?
We have so many eggs. I'll
That's
ask
a
questions
spoiler,
about
though.
the. Yeah, that is a spoiler. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, they could take chickens. They could take like actual human test tubes somewhere.
Mm.
No one will know.
Mhm. Anyway, thank you, DC, and everyone else there.
Yes.
Guinea, hey, the Plague Lands is wonderful world. I've actually written a piece up, and I'm actually gonna. No, I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna just try to improvise. Guinea is has the lowest humanoid population in Gostar. It has it's mainly made up of monsters and undead who all want to kill you. It's made up of a lot of swamps. Think of what's the word?
Bloodborne or Dark Souls, that kind of vibe. It's very kind of rough and ready, very monotone, very washed out. A lot of abandoned towns and cities. The majority of humanoids who exist there exist as like bandits. They're like these bandits and murderers and everything else. They're these barbarian strongholds where there are no rules. There's no laws or kingdoms here. It is just the survival of the fittest. So the most cunning and the most desperate and the most ruthless make their way to the top and eventually rule over little or very large camps and kind of city areas, things. There's a lot of death and a lot of weird things growing here. A lot of swamps, a lot of big open dead cornfields, which are just kind of like albino cornfields, if that makes sense. Like these white ghostly fossilized cornfields. Yeah, that's Guinea. Another question. Thank you for following, Dizzy20. Your question, what do you think about Magic the Gathering worlds? Did you try to creating games around those verses? Yeah. I mean, I've definitely taken inspiration from them. The Olympus in my game, and also any kind of what's it called? Any technology that's in the game is definitely inspired by a lot of the technology that they use in those fantasy universes in Magic the Gathering. There's one, I can't remember, I think it's Kaladesh, is this very high sci-fi steampunky world, and I took a lot of inspiration from that for some of the places around the world. Okay. And then lastly, you have Jotunheim, where Rail is from this side. Rail is from, yeah, there we go. Rail, and also Skull from the Yeeters. The new member of the Yeeters is also from here.
Nice.
And so Jotunheim is just Jotunheim from Norse mythology. And it is filled with mountains and snow and ice. There are a lot of really powerful strongholds here. It's famous for its castles and strongholds, and it's known for just being this really difficult place to attack or take over. No one else can attack it. It's just so well fortified with just the mountains alone. It has one of the strongest militaries in all of these nations, and there are a lot of resources here because there's so many mountains. There's a lot of magical ores and materials in these mountains. But it's a very cold and desolate land. A lot of people are quite cold who live here, but they're all very hardy and strong people. It's a pretty tough place to live. A lot of dwarves. The highest population here would be dwarves and giants. So that is the 6 regions of this world. And also, just to say why it's called Into the Multiverse for yourself, Dizzy. Each game that we play each week, there are different groups all playing in the same world but in a different alternate reality. But there is also a lot of dimension hopping in it as well. At the moment they've been in like a dream reality, then they're going to be going back to Gostar. And in the group that I've been playing with for like 3 years or so, they've been all over the place. They've been in a cyberpunk world, which is our world, the Earth, human world. They've been there, but in the future, cyberpunky themed world, very dystopian universe. They've been there, and there's also plans to go to space as well that I've been writing. And then, did I start a wiki or something? How long did you prepare it? I've been writing it for about 5 or 6 years. This is a collection of a lot of writing that I've been doing for about 5 or 6 years. And I started playing this campaign in particular, that's been going on the longest, for 3 years. But I've been doing a lot of writing for this world since. I've been writing about double that, so about 6 years. And I've been DMing for about 11 years. See you, Padema. Bye. Yeah, so I've been.
I'll never say that.
But yeah, I've been DMing.
11 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've been playing D&D for about 11 years.
Oh.
Suddenly, I don't feel old anymore.
Sorry, we'll stop bullying.
No, it's fine.
No.
That's why you're here. Just
It adds flavor.
it does.
This is the reason I'm here.
You guys have kind of been too silent, so I've been I'm glad to have some sort of engagement from you guys.
We're here to give you like comedy moments.
Yeah, I
We don't know what
appreciate
the fuck this world is.
Yeah, I've been DMing for about 11 years, so a lot of these ideas and things have all been stuff that have been brewing in my mind for a very long time. And I have created other worlds and other universes, but they kind of... I've never had consistent enough players for me to develop on them any further. I had a whole steampunk world that was based off of Attack on Titan, which is pretty fun. There was no magic in the world, so it was, and there was no classes or races. People were playing like bodyguards and hairdressers and stuff like that. And then they were fighting automatons, and it was pretty fun. But let me think here. Yeah.
Gabe,
So this.
I have a question.
Yeah,
for you.
please do. I'm. Yeah, hit me up.
How did you get into DMing?
I've just been DMing since I started playing Dungeons & Dragons because
He
I
was
had.
born and he already knew how to do it.
Well, actually,
in his
I-
arms when he was born.
it's funny you say that because I found I always knew there was a game like Dungeons & Dragons that existed. I just never knew what it was. I was just, there's gotta be. There's video games where you can role play and interact with the story, but surely there's like a one where you roll dice and you make, it's like a board game, right? I thought that existed. I don't know why. I must have seen it somewhere, and it came up a few times, and the first time I recognized it was probably actually a game, was in I read the original manga for Yu-Gi-Oh! So this was like before the actual card game. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero. And there's, is it Malik, the guy with the Millennium Ring? Yeah, he invites Yu-Gi-Oh! Over to play. It's like Dungeons & Dragons. It's basically Dungeons & Dragons, but they call it like Zork or something.
Copyright free.
So they go and play that, and I was like, holy fuck! And he kind of sucks all their souls into their characters, and they actually have to be the characters. But that was my first time. I was like, oh, this is the game. And there's like at the back, it kind of teaches you a little bit how to play. So I started making up drawing maps and stuff, and I only had 6-sided dice. I didn't know there was other types of dice. In that thing they had 10-sided dice. And yeah, I create lots of maps. I'll start putting some of those maps on Instagram as well for you if you want to follow me. My name is Kaskando, which is Kaskando. I'll put that down, and I will start posting more maps. That didn't type at all. I don't know where that typed in. There you go. Hey, if you want to
You've
follow
got
me,
this,
Instagram.
Grandpa.
Thank you, little one. Where did the letters go?
They were right here.
I do a lot of maps. Some are handcrafted and some are digital. I've done more digital ones more recently because the thing that puts me off drawing handcrafted maps is that you have to draw a grid on all of them, and I don't know where to get nice grid paper. This is one. This is an island made of vines that I made a long time ago, and I've got tons around the place. I won't go rummaging around for stuff now, but I do both. What was I saying? Oh yeah, with the dice thing. When I was about, this was, I don't know, I was like 10 or 11 when I was reading this manga, and then I started making up a few maps. I painted them. At the time I had these big rolls of paper that I rolled out, and I painted them all, and I painted this whole country, and I had my brother come up to my room, and I made the little pieces out of Play-Doh. They were just little they looked like bullets, and they were the players, and there was different colored ones for different people, and I just made up a story as we went along, and he played through it. He was only like 5 or 6 or something like that, and he was playing through this little world with me, and I was making stuff happen, and we were just telling a story together. And then the Play-Doh pieces, we used them so much that the Play-Doh just went hard, and I thought it was really cool because they were like proper playing pieces.
That's
and
forever playing pieces.
Yeah.
And before that as well, like when I was like 6, or no, 6 to 9. I always used to make stories up for my brothers. And no, the first thing that I had that was like D&D was my uncle over in England used to tell us bedtime stories whenever we go see our cousins, and he would tell us the gunslinger stories, which were based off of the Dark Tower. But we could then choose what characters we wanted to be. We could be anyone, and we could have one special power. So I would choose, like, I wanted to be a psychic, and one of my brothers wanted to be like a dinosaur man, and one of us got to be the gunslinger as well, who's the main character. And he would tell us like a little bit every night, and would progressively go through a story. And that was my first exposure to D&D.
So cute.
Yeah, I was really young. I was only like 5 or 6, and I love that so much. And so I continued doing that then with my brothers, and when my cousins would come around, I would start telling the stories, because he kind of gave up at one point. He kept saying, "Oh, I'll just give you another hour tomorrow instead," and we were like, "Okay, mister, but you better tell us a story tomorrow." And then the next night he'd be like, "Okay, I'll just give you 2 hours." The next night, and we're like, "Okay, fine." And then he never told us any more stories. He slowly weeded his way out of them. But I started telling him then, and I started allowing other people to make decisions in the story, which he never did. He kind of just told the story, and we all just sat and listened. But I thought it'd be cooler if people could make choices and they could be their characters. And then also when I was younger, when I was about 9, my family and I traveled around the world, and we would have really long car journeys, and I would use our little teddies and have my brothers control each of the teddies like they were in a video game, and I'd make out little controllers for them, and they would be playing the little teddies in the car. So I've always enjoyed storytelling and everything else. And then I found D&D when I was... Yeah, I eventually found D&D, and I got the red box starter set for 4th edition. And I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was drooling every day, and I was writing up tons of stories and was playing with my brothers. What do you say, Dizzy? You say, can you give any tips for people who create campaigns around different worlds? Yeah. I would say do not build a whole world at the start. You need to first just start small. Make very big broad strokes. And just bullet point things. Don't start coming up with loads of lore and everything else and all these intricate stories, because half the time your players won't interact with that at all, and you'll be improvising most things. But if you have the bullet points and you know little things that are happening in the world, but never try to control the players and have them follow your story that you've written. If you write too much, you're going to want to use all of that work and drag your players into it in one way or another. But don't do that. Just write bullet points, have all the broad strokes of everything that's happening, make characters, and give them wants and needs. So whenever they're interacted with by the players, you know what that character wants and needs, and then just roleplay that character. But never try to control the world, and never try to flesh it out tons. I've only done that now that I've got tons of people who are committed in the world. But start small, start with a town, and have a world around it. Make it as crazy as you like, but let the players write the story for you, because they'll do half the work for you. That's what I can say. Start small, and it'll just grow itself, and just keep taking notes of everything that happens. Ask your players questions about their characters and where they want to be from, and they'll write you pages of stuff. Tell them they can be as wild as they want, and you'll just then incorporate that into your world and make that canon and build from there. It'll build itself. That's what I can say. Yeah. Don't try to railroad, because
thing as we've done that game as well.
No,
We
that
always
was
send
really
him
good
somebody's like-
advice.
Yeah, it's pretty sound actually. Yeah, because a lot of people,
and
I guess
also-
they.
You could also do, Gabe,
Hmm?
you could literally just do what we did last night, which was just fuck around and
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
stupid
exactly.
story
Yeah,
and
just
then
improvise
incorporate
stuff.
that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Just
but
don't,
I think that-
detach yourself from it a bit. And
Yeah, because there's a lot of horror stories of DMs being too controlling in the game. Like that's not the whole point of D&D. Like the point of D&D is to just go wild.
Yeah.
So it's kind of beating the purpose if you're always saying, nope, you can't do this, nope, you can't do that. Just
Yeah.
let them, unless it's for like a very, very specific reason.
Or
Yeah,
they're being
Yeah,
a dickhead.
because
Yeah.
you know it as
or
well.
they're being out of line.
What I've experienced as well is if you start as a player, if you start doing something that that the DM doesn't want you to do, or they haven't written anything about, immediately all the rolls that you have to make become much harder, and everything becomes very difficult to go down that path, and it only makes you want to go down it more. So my advice as well is don't be scared of letting players go into something that you haven't prepared for, because the best stuff comes from that. And it's absolutely terrifying, but you come up with the wildest, wackiest shit, and they're the best moments in D&D, is when they do something that you've not planned for, and you improvise it all, because they're going to keep trying to go that way anyway, so you might as well just open the floodgates and let them go that way, and make it feel like they should be going this way anyway, and then just be like, yeah, fucking yeah, you're doing everything, you're doing great, guys, this is what I planned for, keep going.
I totally planned this.
Like, one of my favorite moments in a game that I played, it was a bard party that we had, so we were all bards, and there was a bunch of these events going on. At one stage we heard that there was this Pegasus jousting competition taking place, and we were all like, we want to fucking go to Pegasus jousting competition, and we did all these rolls and everything to try to persuade our way to that. One of the players dressed me up as a knight, and they cut my hair because it was really long and nasty, and they made me look like a proper knight, but I was this drunken alcoholic drug addict who was then pretending to be a knight. And one of my friends polymorphed into a Pegasus, so then we had these two people coming along with a Pegasus and a knight, and we managed to get into the game, and it was absolutely terrifying. All the players were also trying to rig it, like try to change things, and a bunch of the people on the ground watching, the other players, were placing bets on me or against me, and it was terrifying. The other guy who we were fighting against had this flaming lance for some reason. We're like, wait, fuck, is that illegal? And we're, I think, like 500 foot or 1,000 foot up in the air doing this, so we were going to instantly die if we fell off. And afterwards, it was the coolest thing ever. It was such a cool thing, jousting in the sky on Pegasi. And then afterwards, after the game, he was like, I didn't plan for that at all. I was just winging it the whole time. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And that was one of the best experiences I've had. So yeah, you need to be very flexible and very selfless as a DM, I think. But it's very rewarding when those kind of moments do come through and you do pull it off. And now that's a thing in that world. That's the sport, is this Pegasus jousting, and we're going to probably want to try to do it again.
Oh yeah.
Add it to the world. Add it to the world.
Yes.
We have bards. They can fight.
Yeah.
Shahil's gonna fight.
Have you seen Quill fight?
Why not? Why not?
I haven't. I don't think I have, really. She threw a dagger in one of the first games and it missed.
Nearly missed.
Hey, no. I threw the first dagger hit.
Oh, yeah,
got
and
a really good shot,
and
and
the
the
bent
second
dagger
dagger
didn't.
went a bit far.
It's because you tripped.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I was like, shit, fuck. That wasn't as cool as I wanted it to be.
Literally, it's only in the last few sessions that even Shahil actually started fighting. 'Cause he
Yeah.
was-
Now he's a warlock. He can.
Yeah.
Gotta fight.
Yeah.
A fight.
Dizzy saying, why don't we create a YouTube to advertise our multiverse? We will at some point. At the moment, we've been downloading all of the videos. Batema has been downloading a bunch of the videos, and we're going to try to put it on a server so everyone else can access them, and we can edit them and chop them up and start putting them on YouTube as these kind of shorter snippets and things like that. But it's just, yeah, we haven't been streaming long, so we will eventually do that so we can get people from every platform and everything else.
Oh yeah.
David says that you're Steve Jobs of D&D. I fucking do look like Steve Jobs. The freaking neck
That was the whole point.
God damn it. So does anyone else have any questions, actually? Do you players have any questions about anything?
God.
Ooh.
My brain is just gonna.
It's like when you ask someone, "Oh, what's your favorite book?" and suddenly you haven't read any in your entire life.
I don't read.
It's that kind of situation.
I mean, it's like we can only ask so much because otherwise it's just gonna be spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything about any of the regions that you want to know more about, or
Yes, give us spoilers. Yes, feed us.
sure?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Or any of the Yeeters in there want to know anything about the world or any questions in general?
Any needs is present.
Hello.
I mean, I can keep talking.
They're busy
regardless,
eating.
but- Yeah.
They're busy. Yeah, they're busy eating. Oh my god.
How long have we been streaming now? When did we start the streams?
Like an hour
It's been
ago?
about 55 minutes now.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the streams
general.
themselves, like the multiverse streams.
Oh.
We've been
Oh,
like our team of PB Rebellion. We've been playing together for about 3 months now.
We have 14
think-
streams so far. We've done 14
streams,
sessions.
and they're every week. So
But remember, we didn't record the first couple.
yeah, there's the
The
first few
first-
that.
We didn't do the first 8, I think. I have them all. I have everything up to them
Many.
voice recorded, but I don't
I
have
thought it was just the first 2 that we skipped from streaming.
Maybe
Because I remember you. I
Wait,
remember
hold on.
that you recorded some of them.
I recorded everything that we weren't live for.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because I'm that kind of stalker. We've done 7 without. So we did 7
Wow.
first.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So that will say that we started streaming about in October,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So about 2 months ish.
Hmm.
Just over.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, not too long, but
Yeah.
still getting
Yeah.
It
there.
feels like fucking ever.
Oh, jeez.
Really,
Thanks,
I
Kat.
want to do it every day.
Oh yeah.
Then
me too.
by the time, because when Sunday comes, I'm like, what happened?
Oh,
It's
we
been a
did it
week.
again.
I'm still so panicked from last
Yeah,
Sunday.
especially when it turns to Monday and you're like, everything just feels like a fever dream. But in such a good way.
Wait, did we actually do all these things?
It all finally
Yeah, 'cause by the
absorbs
time
and
you slept on it-
digests.
By the time you slept on it and digested it, and you wake up in the morning, you're just like, whoa,
Oh, shit.
that was wild. Whoa.
D&D hangover.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to say, Dizzy, we have about 2 campaigns going. There's another one. I'm trying to get the other people the other group, which is the Beta Quester group, which is the original people who were playing this. I'm trying to find a date eventually where they can all play as well, but they're all very busy at the moment. And there is a 4th group joining as well at some stage.
Yeah.
Team number 4.
Team 4.
Team 4.
Oh, yeah. I'm also going to be part of Team 4, so
And another person from our group is also going to
yeah,
be.
another person, Castiel, who plays Shahil, he's also coming in with Team 4.
Yeah.
So gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I'd say it'll be a big guest star kind of game where just random players from the other groups are going to start popping in and out.
Just go to a restaurant and you just see Oscar in an apron, like, well, hi, well.
And what's fun as well is with each group, all the NPCs and all the players who are in the other groups do exist in this world too. So they're just still doing things that they would have been doing if they hadn't
If they
been
didn't get.
sucked into this
Yeah.
adventure. Yeah. So they're all still out
quite
there in
cool.
each group.
Yeah.
I wonder how Lilith. Well, is it a spoiler if I say that?
No.
Because we've all done it. Yeah. I wonder how Lilith decided who she's gonna pick to be like, oh, I like this one, this
Yeah,
one.
she
let's
has
put them
reasons for
together."
all of you. You guys all have value to her.
Oh my
We're
god.
all juicy.
Oh my god, she
Oh,
finds us interesting. Holy shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't
It's
thought
really
about that.
interesting.
She finds us interesting.
Yeah.
There's no
So the-
human
the-
interaction
He
on
probably
this
just
show.
finds it fun. Like, oh, these people are like, oh, they're squaring up to me. How fun.
Oh, the little ones
How
wanna fight.
bizarre.
the thing about the Fey Lords as well, they treat souls like currency. So souls to them are a form of currency that they trade between themselves. Like, oh, I got this really lovely warrior who killed a gorgon. They're really good at it. You wanna? I'll trade you this one for. They're like playing cards. They're like trading cards for them.
Yeah.
And they have different value. Different people have different values for them. So she's captured you all for a reason because you all have a certain
We have
value to you. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Not for good reasons, but still value.
Okay.
Like, for example, Oscar would know why Oscar's being captured now that I've said that, I'm sure. You definitely have
That I
value.
would know.
No, you have value as a character, definitely. You all have different value whether you know it or not. So
We don't know what the value is. Like,
Yeah, what is our value? I could be
A heart
like
of gold.
a chocolate bar to her.
the best pies y'all ever did see.
Yeah.
Wait, then how does the wizard tournaments kind of get into the? Does it count in?
They don't
Really?
fucking care. They just break all the rules. They just pop into that soul world and grab you out for a moment and just take you to their universe.
It's magic. Ain't gonna explain shit.
No, space magic.
Feel about that?
I was gonna try to make some sort of logical reason behind that. The space wizard thing, though, is the first was the start of me making it more of a multiverse, like connecting all of your games and having them all exist in different realities. That was the start of it. Because at the start I was like, how am I gonna connect them all and make the wizards bring them all into one place? And I was like, it's just space magic. He's just gonna go around from different dimensions and just grab people that he finds fun and
Yeah.
bring them off to space.
I like to
wizard
imagine
games.
that. I like to imagine that Lilith, like, she just leaves us for a bit, and then she looks back, and like 4 of us are gone. And she's like,
Like,
did
what
they
the
go?"
fuck?
They all come back with like martinis and Hawaiian shirts. Like, stop it.
Stop.
Came
Oh,
back
that
4
reminds me. I
hours
still
later
have the
from
Hawaiian
Starbucks.
t-shirt somewhere.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, sugar.
In some cases, they
kept it,
come
you're
back
still
with like
wearing it.
50,000 gold.
In some cases, they come back.
So yeah, exactly. Some decide to remove their wizard hats and
Fuck around and
disappear
see.
and pop into nothingness.
Or we can like cheat our way across some like problems, like I did.
Yeah, exactly. You can just ask him to just pop you out a little earlier in a different spot, and you're
Yeah, just be
First
like,
Persuade the lizard. The
I
wizard.
can stab you again if you really want.
I'm sorry.
what?
I said lizard instead of wizard.
Space lizard.
I definitely know what we're playing, guys. I definitely know.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that's great.
I want to do more space wizard tournaments. Those are fun.
Yeah, they are fun. I've got a lot of them still left.
Hell yeah.
Let me see here.
Oh
what
my
else have I
God.
got? I've got my notes here as well about different deities I've made. If any of you are curious about deities.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
keep showing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Educate us, please.
Okay, so there are some core deities in the world.
Oh my god.
They're known as the old
Is he
gods.
actually? Oh,
So there is Gaia, who's the founder goddess. She's the goddess of the land. She's the one who forged Gostar. She made the oceans and the mountains, and filled Gostar with structure. And then there's the Mother Doe. And she's the we love you. And Maggie, you've made some lovely artwork of the Mother Doe as well. So if anyone wants to follow you on Instagram, is it Mikan Illustrations? Is it _illustrations?
oh, yes, it is. Thank you. Oh my god.
If you need any of our Instagrams or
God.
anything, they're in the about section of our Twitch page.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
true.
need it.
Mm.
Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Reminding you as your PA.
Thank you, PA.
You're.
Welcome.
I'm giving you a promotion to higher PA.
Thank you. That's only until Potamos comes back, right?
It's temporary. It's a temporary
Okay,
position.
good.
Don't get too excited.
Sub PA. I just need as many PAs as I can get because I don't know how to use technology. So.
You're old. That's why.
So she is the goddess of life and growth and animals, and she breathed life into the world, bringing plants, and she sculpted animals. Then you have Newt, who is the god of science and knowledge and invention. Oh, without the S at the end. Thank you.
Interrupt you.
So Newt invented physics, essentially. They made gravity. They put gravity into the world and added, science stuff. They added all the science. So chemical reactions and all this kind of thing. They put logic into the world. And then...
Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe.
And
a little
then
bit.
some of these old gods are pretty uncreative, but I feel like they would be very basic anyway because they're the first gods. So like the next one, Arcana, she came along, or the gods don't have any real genders, to be honest, but the Mother Doe has kind of like a mother.
The mother gender.
Yeah, she's a mother gender. Thank you. So Arcana came along. Newt put some logic into the world, and Arcana was like, fuck your logic. So she created magic and creativity, and did everything she could to destroy logic and go against logic. And she created things that just were illogical.
God, what a mood. They're totally siblings.
So it's like Newt was there with his building blocks, making everything nice and neat, and Arcana just came along with a bucket full of Play-Doh and just chucked it over it all and just started spreading it around the place.
So I like this better. This is nicer.
So then Newt had to just stick all the blocks into the nasty mold. Then you have Shikenster. They're this three-faced queen. They're the goddess of evolution and creation. And all change in the world comes from Shikenster. So they then took the Mother Doe's sculptures and original animals and started to tweak them and change them and add more variety to them, evolve them in different ways. And Shikenster is very much worshipped by lizard folk and a lot of lizardy reptilian creature things.
Was that the statue that we saw?
No, you saw a minor god, kind of a child of Shikenster, and that was Uptau.
No, not that one. When we went into that safe room and we gave.
Oh
some
yeah. I might have said a different name. I think I got the name wrong, but they are.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'd have to double check, but I think I couldn't find Shikenster there, so I just put in a different one. Maybe that is another child of Shikenster. I'm not sure.
Yeah, gods can asexually reproduce. They can get more.
And then you have Ikosa. So Ikosa is the deity. It's also known as the goddess of chance or Lady Luck, and they are a golden winged sphinx with 6 arms and 6 legs. And they add unpredictability to the world. So Arcana brought just magic and creativity, which disrupted the logic of things, but then Ikosa came along and made it possible for bad things to happen and for good things to happen at random. So it added this random element to the world. Because it was all very formulaic and boring, so they added chance. They're the god of chance.
And then, at one stage, the Mother Doe, also known... Well, she wasn't the Mother Doe originally. She was known as Artemis. She split herself into 4 pieces because she realized that the world was filling up. They were running out of space in Gostar, and things needed to be more of a cycle in that life. She couldn't just keep producing more and more things. She realized things needed to die, and things needed to come in and replace those things. So she created the cycle of life by splitting herself into 4 beings. These 4 kind of essences of Artemis. So one is the Mother Doe, who continued the same cycle of creating new life. And then there's Morrigan, and she's the god of death. So the Mother Doe is known as the daytime god. Morrigan is known as the nighttime god. And then there are 2 other gods, of dawn and of twilight. Maljara is one, who is the god of life after death. And then Undasker is the twilight god, and they're about the life. They're about the end of a life and that progression of that life. How do I explain it now? So they're basically they are the god of your legacy. They record the legacy of everything that once was. So everything that dies, also everything that they've done in the world is recorded by Undasker. They're like a literal family tree for the entire world. And they're about how those past life affects other lives, and they're also the god of reincarnation. So they take souls and they record the souls and then they pass them on to Maljara. What is that? Then you got Thoros. This is a very original name. Thoros is the god of the storms and weather, and not the god of thunder at all. There's different. You're thinking of a different god. Thoros.
Yeah.
Is the god of the weather. They started.
Yeah.
changing.
Don't think about Loki.
Don't
because
think
Loki
about
is
Thor or Thoros is a totally unique god, totally original.
Yeah, he has extra letters. Sorry.
Hello, Poopy Yummy. Thank you. Sorry, you actually said something really lovely. Oh, Poopy Amy. Sorry, I thought it was Poopy Yummy. Hello, that's Amy then? Hello, Amy.
Hey.
So the Twilight God is they are very beautiful, if I do say so myself. They are a giant yak with the world tree growing out of their back.
Fuck's a yak.
A yak is this big mountain
It's like
thing.
it's like
Yes, fluffy.
Oh, is it like
Nice.
a cow?
A what?
Yeah.
kind of ish.
It's like an alpaca.
It's like it's more like an alpaca.
Here is
Yeah,
a yak.
yeah.
Not really.
It's like Cusco.
Oh, sorry, I'm from Sri Lanka.
That is
Kind
a
of
yak.
animals.
I don't know if you can see that.
I think.
Maybe. We'll just go with it. It's fine. I'll
So,
Google it later.
Yeah, they're a giant white yak with a huge tree growing out their back. And whenever you see it, everyone sees a different tree, depending on who's looking at it. So when you see it, you'll see your family tree. So there'll be a different tree on the back every time.
But that's a Highlander cow.
What's wrong with that?
I thought they were 2 different things. I'm
Okay,
sure.
well, that's also a yak.
Wait, let me check.
They are
sounds sus.
they are very fluffy cows with big
Yeah,
hunches
they
in
are.
there.
They are more like cows.
Okay, so I was right. Fluffy cow. Fluffy cow.
They're more body
I
than
thought they were
head.
more like alpacas.
There's
I still love them.
they're massive.
Is me being Quill
Uh-huh.
affecting any of that?
Yeah.
Oh, snazzy.
Oh,
Because I was
I
like,
know.
you were saying about like death and rebirth, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you're essentially what you're doing is you're tapping into that family tree.
Ah, okay. So I'm vibing with them.
yeah.
So the yak is also in a way they're kind of like a heaven of sorts. Not really. This varies. They're either reincarnated or you can say it's a tree. But here is, this is kind of what they look like. Just hold it there for a little while until people can see it. And
Yeah,
then
it'll
we
take about like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
until
all of us can see it.
But yeah, that is
Okay,
that.
gotcha.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry if you hear
So,
yourself.
it's alright. So then moving on, that's kind of most of the main gods. Two gods that one is also Spectra. Spectra brought light into the world. They brought light and color. They filled the world and made it visible to everything else existing in it, and kind of brought a stability to it because everything originally came from the chaos. It was like unpredictable and almost hard to comprehend. So they focused it all down with a lens and made it clear and easy to see for everything existing on the world. And then there is Baraka, who is now dead, who was the god of sound. There was a great war at one stage between Spectra and Baraka, and Spectra won. It was this giant storm that existed for hundreds of years as they battled, big thunder and lightning everywhere. And eventually Baraka fell, and Baraka died and fell down into Limbo, and that crater is what formed the toxic jungle. And I won't tell you too much because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but that is then where Maljara came from. Maljara is a combination of Baraka's spirit that was still kind of alive, and when the Mother Dose split herself apart, that spirit then fused with Baraka and they formed Maljara.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And let me see. That's kind of that. There's I don't tell you too much else, I guess. There are the 6 Spectrum sisters who are the daughters of Spectra. There is Sun, Oasis, Phobos, Momus, Ares, and Echo. And they are the goddesses of emotion. So there's happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, and surprise. And they fill the place with emotion.
The Snow White dwarves. Okay.
And Spectra had another child, who is Amor Friojo, who's a god of love. And she had a son called Grey, and he is the god of lust and ownership and dominance.
Hell yeah.
He's the possessive god. He's the opposite of Amor
Actually,
Friojo.
Popping out babies. Sorry.
And then we have Rail's god, Demu. Or,
Demu.
So there's...
But you can't say that much.
No, I'm not going to say much.
So-
That's it.
I don't know.
They're a river goddess.
Yeah.
And that's about all you know.
I've written
And-
liver. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I'm dyslexic. Okay.
But yeah, Demu. I'm
Okay.
excited to find out more about Demu.
Do you know? Can you tell us what they look like? What
No.
she looks like?
At the moment, they just look like a river. Rail's never seen them. But I have drawn artwork!
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What they currently look like.
Rail doesn't know what they look like. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Then you-
He's only seen one form of Demu,
Oh, no.
and that is the water.
Yeah.
Ooga booga. He only knows the water tendrils, and that's it.
He only knows the hat, the
Water tentacles.
water being all motherly.
Yeah, she is kind of like a bit of a mum figure to him.
At this point, yeah.
It's very sweet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie's
That's
got to go.
interesting.
Thank you for joining, Maggie. We can start wrapping up
Bye,
now, I suppose,
Maggie.
unless there's other questions.
Yeah, we can't really ask anything.
No, it's fine. No problem. No, baby, I'll answer them if they're not spoilery. If they are spoilery, then I won't answer them.
And you just say like,
What
can't.
kind of thing
Sorry.
was- Just spoiler ones. Try to be sneaky. Be like, so Gabe, tell me about Demu.
Okay, well, they're river goddess, and that's all you need to know. And
God.
yeah, they're the goddess of forgiveness and flow.
Yes.
They go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Hell yeah.
And then you also have Wisteria's gods, who are twins,
Yes.
who are gods of Icosa, the god of chance, and they are the gods of chaos and intrigue. That's all I can say, but they work hand in hand.
And they try and kill each other.
They do. They hate each other. They're polar
I
opposites.
don't know. Why do these siblings in God World always hate each other? Why they gotta fight?
They either fight or they have babies with each other. It's one of the.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. Can they not just get
They don't just
along
vibe.
and
No.
then go and do their own thing? They're all just out here boning or fighting. It's like, Jesus.
In terms
She
of
doesn't exist, actually. Never mind.
I can go through the
Although-
Feylords, I suppose. The Feylords.
Yes, please.
The Feylord of the Vale is Lilith, the Vine Queen, and she gets her powers from the sun, like any plant. Language plants.
Photosynthesize.
And she is known for her cunning. She's not the strongest of the Feylords. She's one of the youngest. She's the second youngest. And so she had to rely on her smarts and her wits and trickery and everything else. And that's
And
how she
her
got
good
by.
looks.
And her
because
good
she
looks,
was
absolutely.
Gonna get some sips out of that.
And then the youngest is Titus, who rules over the plague lands, or Guinea. And he is he's the runt. He's the runt of the kids. He's the youngest. He's the youngest by a lot. And he's known as the Forgotten Feylord. No one likes him. No one cares for him. And he's filled with spite and anger because all the other deities, all the other Feylords prospered, and he's been forgotten and left behind. And then going up to the next oldest, which is actually, I've got them all written down here on my timetable. Not my timetable, my timeline. So you have then Abel, who is deceased. He died. He is a dead Feylord, but he was the Feylord of Limbo. But he was killed by his older brother, Cain. So Cain killed Abel, and now Abel is gone. And he was one of the most beautiful of all the Feylords, and he was the most intelligent. He was so intelligent that he was on like a whole other mental level. He was beyond, natural comprehension of things. He was kind of up there in the ether.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a Buddha-like figure.
I was about to say he was a bit of a dickhead. When you said that, I was like, no!
Oh, I forgot to say as well, Limbo is also inspired a lot by Hinduism and all that kind of mythology as well. And then Cain, he lives in Olympus, the realm of Olympus, and he's the third oldest, and he is incredibly powerful. But he killed Cain. I can't really tell much else about him. He is the god of he kind of rules over the skies and the storms, and that's about all I can say. He was was known for his kind of being the friendliest of them. He was very witty, and he was a bit of a prankster, and he was the comedian of the group and very full of energy. Then
Okay.
you got. He's also known as the Wanderer as well. Puppy Amy said he's a bit of a dickhead. Yeah, 100%. He has become a bit of a dickhead. He used to be a nice guy, as were all the Fey Lords, but now they're all assholes. And
Now they're all old and angry.
Yeah. But in his prime, he was nice.
Here as well. Oh my god.
He's known as the Wanderer. He doesn't have any kingdom anymore. He just wanders the Thunder Plains. And he's been cursed to wander the Thunder Plains forever.
Because he smacked his brother with a rock.
He murdered them.
Murdered
He actually ate him, but
The first ever murder. He just wanted to see what would happen, really.
simple.
Then his brother never got up. He's like, oh no.
yeah. So he ended up killing him, and he consumed his body.
Nice, as you do.
Zorb.
Inflatable cat. Inflatable cat. Wow. Thank you. Who's inflatable cat? Or any of
Hello,
you?
inflatable cat. You stole my name, but
Thank
we
you,
shall
inflatable
overlook that.
cat, for the little wave. Hello there. I'm going through the lore of the multiverse right now, and going through the Fey Lords who rule over Gostar, which is the world where everything takes place. One of the worlds. So the second oldest of those siblings is Tyr, also known as Ghost.
Yay!
And he is known
He's
also.
also a dickhead.
He's also a dickhead, yeah. He's the second oldest, and he is also known as the sleeping god or the ghost. Not the sleeping god, but the sleeping Fey Lord or the ghost of the Fey Lords, because no one's sure if he's dead or alive. No one's seen
He's
him for
surviving.
about 1,000 years. Everyone knows that in the not everyone, but a lot of people know that when this great Fey Lord War took place, which is called the Battle of the Dragons or the War of the Dragons, he took a very heavy injury from Lucy, one of his sisters, and he retreated out of fear and disappeared below the mountains of Jotunheim and hasn't been seen since.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
He talks big for a man
Dead
who
bitch.
For a pussy!
ran away. I was about to say it, but I didn't want to.
I'm sorry. I knew you were gonna say it. I thought I'd finish your
One of us
sentence.
had to say it.
Stupid head. I have tons of lore written somewhere. Inflatable cat. Here is one of the books. This is one of my tomes of Into the Multiverse, so this is one of them. I have another binder, which is here, and I have a lot of books as well that I've written into, and twice as much digitally as well. So whatever, a lot of these notes also consist of just scraps or things I've also typed out as well and printed out, and I've notes upon notebooks of stuff. Hold on, we'll see if I can find any. Here are a few more. So it's been a thing I've been writing for about 6 years. Yeah, I've got a lot. I got a lot. But like I said to Dizzy20 earlier, who was asking how do you start building a world like that? You don't start it with the intention of building a world like that. It's kind of happens eventually over time. You start with the small stuff. You start with broad strokes, and you start with bullet points. And if people keep playing and keep interacting with the world, they're just going to keep growing and
simping.
expanding
Remember to
it.
simp, but guys, remember to simp.
What?
Simp.
Simping.
Simping. We need to simp. We need to have simps for this.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. See, I know that.
Oh, thank you, Inflatable Cat, for following. Yeah, so it's slowly over time. It's just been built up through games that I've played with everyone, and now it's a whole multiverse. There's lots of different universes all happening at the same time, and oh, thank you, Poopy Amy. I'll I'll move that thing. Where is it? How do I move the alert box? There we go. I'll move it down here. So now it'll cover my face every time. There we go. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's one more. There's one more child of the Fey Lords. So this is Lucy. Lucy is also known as the Fire Queen. She's the queen of the Fire Nation. She's the oldest of all the Fey Lord siblings. And she is really hot. She's made out of gold. She's 100 foot tall. And she is extremely powerful. She started the first monasteries in Tawn, which is the Fire Nation. And she invented the ability to... She invented, is that the right word? Or came up with the ability to wield ki. So monks use ki, and they channel their ki in their inner energy, and she was the first monk that ever existed, and she channeled her ki and taught other people how to fight without using magic or without swords. And she owns a massive army and lives in a volcano. And Amy says, yes, she is a big dickhead. She is, 100%. She's the most dickheady of all of them, but she's also the most lost. But I can't say much more.
She's somehow related to all of the shit that's going on with us.
Yeah, she's kind of... she's doing the most shit at the moment with the beta questers who don't like being called the beta questers, but the original group who played through this for the past 3 years, they've come to the point now where they are eventually having to face off against Lucy, who's the most powerful of all the Fey Lords, and they're trying to clean up her shit and destruction and everything else. No, I won't say anything else just because. But yeah, she is the main antagonist for their game right now. They are dealing with a lot of antagonists at the moment, like simultaneously, but everything's kind of built up. Yeah, I know they really do need a rest, but yeah, 100%. I try to give them a resting session where they all went to a fair, like a craft fair. It was really nice until then. For some reason, I filled it with demons that killed babies and squashed their heads.
Just as you do.
And thank you, Inflatable Cat. Do you have any questions, actually? Because I've kind of gone through a lot of stuff in a lot of the world. It's a ball sack world. I'll redraw the ball sack world here. But I was explaining this earlier at the start of the stream. I called it a teardrop world at the start, but everyone else started calling it a ball sack world, so now it's a ball sack world.
It's a singular ball.
And even like when I draw the chaos as well that the ball sack world comes from, it does look like pubes. So
you don't help yourself, Gabe.
I don't know. No.
Oh no.
Let me see here. I'm just kind of giving you a bit of an illustration here of the ball sack. But this is the world. Poopy Amy says, how would one go about killing Lucy? Just wondering. Oh, excellent question, Amy. Well, she's a 100 foot tall woman made of solid gold. She's a red dragon. And she lives in a volcano. And
there's kind of clues here. There's clues, guys.
She has a massive army. A huge army that has covered all of Gostar now. But I would say, if I was to speak for the Yeeters, they would probably suggest you just cut off her head.
Yeah. And if you're speaking for us, talk to her.
Amy also says they're all the same height lying down. But she's still probably about 10 or 15 foot tall lying down. I don't know. Yeah, you could try lie her down and then chop off her head, because it'd be easier to get at her head.
Yeah. Have a tea party with her. See what she wants. Have a little talk. That's what Oscar would say.
Or you could play
Yeah.
into her weaknesses. That's a good one
Yeah.
too. You could, play into all the weaknesses that she has. She has a
All
lot,
the weaknesses
actually.
that she totally has.
You just need to do a bit
Big
of
bucket
research.
of water.
I would advise you guys to do some research on her and find out what people know about her. And then the more you know about her, the more you know what's going on, the more you can stop her and figure out why she's doing it and try to stop her there. Like,
Allowed?
you're a therapist, Amy. You need to figure this one out. You got to get into her psyche and figure out what's
you must
going on there.
think like her.
Yeah.
Understand why she is doing all this stuff. Maybe it has to do with the 5 siblings she has. Maybe that could be something to do with it.
It's
Who is the
definitely
sibling?
family orientated for sure. It always goes back to the family.
Always.
Big therapy session.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So this is going back here. This is the world. It's when it's hovering through space. Where am I? It's like a ball sack that drips out of the elemental chaos or the chaos where everything else comes from, and then as it comes away, I can't see what I'm doing. As it kind of starts to stretch out and move away from the chaos, the base of it begins to cool and stabilize more so. So the further away from the chaos you get, the more grounded the reality is. But the closer you travel up Gostar towards the chaos, the weirder it gets. And then you've got, if you flatten it out like a 2D shape, it turns into like this 6-sided star, which is all the different regions of Gostar. Funny thing as well, it used to be called the God's Tier, and then it used to be called God's Tier, and then it was called it was originally called the God's Scar because the gods tore a scar through the chaos and made the world and bled it out. And then it used to be called the God's Tier because it was tear shaped, and then it was called Godster, and now it's called Gostar.
And
that's
now it's
how-
a ball sack.
Now it's always been a ball sack.
Now we're saying it aloud.
Yeah, and now it is ball sack world.
Where
So,
exactly are we then?
You're
as
in the Vale
Rebellion?
currently,
Okay.
so the
Yeah.
green
Are we-
area
wait.
here.
So we're not as close to the chaos.
No, you're currently right up here, and most of the world exists in this bottom half. It's kind of split up into 3 sections usually, each region. The top half is usually pretty stable, where all the things kind of collide, and then as it branches out, this middle region is where it starts getting really weird and funky, and that's where a lot of oceans and things exist, and then beyond that, the last third is just kind of you're bleeding into the chaos, and if you sail out that far, you'll start to then experience strong currents that start to pull you into the chaos. And this is where a lot of sky pirates go, and they mine a material called chaos ore from all of these twisted, mutated rocks and islands floating through space. They begin to mine it. It's a really rare material. It's used for alchemy and stuff like that. But yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Inflatable Cat. I appreciate it. They say thank you, massive respect to you for your stories. Thank you, and join us as well on Sundays and Fridays for D&D sessions. On Sunday we stream at 12 p.m. GMT, so Greenwich Mean Time, and then on Fridays we stream at 5:30 p.m. GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. But this Friday we're not going to be playing because it's Christmas, and we might possibly play on Sunday if everyone's up for it, but we'll see. And I think that we'll go back to the Eaters, who play every Friday on the 29th or something. Oh, perfect! All right, so you might join us for the next game on Sunday. Awesome, thank you very much. That'd be amazing. So you'll be joining the PB Rebellion, and some of the players are currently in the chat as well. You can hear them all around me.
That is hello.
There's about 7 of them. There is 7 of them altogether, and a ton of NPCs also in their party, so it's a big group. And currently they are trying to escape a dream reality that they've been trapped in, that's been created and fabricated by Lilith, the Vine Queen. who is the Fey Lord of the Vale. So there you go.
We're gonna beat up this bitch.
They're gonna try to beat her
I
up.
don't want to fight her. Cat doesn't want to fight her. Quill is down, but she never fights.
And,
Oh gosh, I think at this point Rail's just done. He just wants
yeah,
to get
poor
out.
guy. He's like broken his ribs and everything. And he's coughing up blood.
Yeah,
and he's
there's,
got
like,
some internal.
Internal damage.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, yeah.
Internal bleeding. He's missing his
That's
armor.
probably gonna haunt him later.
A little bit.
Wearing less and less clothes.
Yeah.
More of his all
gonna
his
be
arms being
naked.
ripped off, which is
Yeah, he literally has nothing left.
that was a theme in one of my comic that I was writing, is that the main character would slowly start losing his armor and becoming more and more exposed as an individual as well,
Yeah.
like both physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
And it's kind of happening for him too.
Oh my
He's-
God.
Yeah.
It's happening to Rael as well.
Mm.
And you get a boyfriend.
You got a boyfriend on the
You
way,
don't
kind
know
of.
We
yet.
don't
the
know
way.
yet, but let us dream, okay?
I mean, you're
They've
teaching him the
definitely gotten
alphabet, so
closer.
that's you're
Yeah,
teaching him the
that's
alphabet.
something.
That's like third base at least, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You washed each other's hair. That's romantic as
You
fuck.
braided
bro.
each other's hair.
Yeah, no, Shahil just washed Rael's hair. Oh, speak of the devil, he shall arrive.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, Adam in here.
It's me.
Hello, hello. I'm gonna add your little icon here so you guys can see how sexy Shahil looks like.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Here we go, it's a bit big as
We
well.
were just saying how we were just talking about like Lilith and all of that, and saying, oh, you know, Quill's down to fight. I said, yeah, Rael just wants to get out, and they're like, yeah, like he's losing all his armor.
He's getting
Like,
naked.
he's getting naked. And then Gabriel was saying that one of his characters in his comic is like slowly losing his armor as well, to sort of, you know, metaphorically and physically becoming vulnerable. And we're like, oh shit, it's Rael. But he's getting a boyfriend on top of it.
No, they would never. They would never.
They wouldn't call themselves boyfriends, okay? But
Oh no, they would
come on.
never.
No, we actually
Partners.
talked about that too.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll be the ones that be like, that sounds childish. Don't
No, they'd be like, that's gay.
That's
So
gay.
Yeah. Okay.
the viewers will never know if it's official or not. They'll never
Yeah.
give it a.
Never.
Neither do
No
the
one in the
players.
team. No one in the team will ever know.
Nope.
We're always in suspense. We're always just like, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. No, they tease us.
It's been going on for. This is the 14th stream. We're going into the 15th stream, but it's been 14, and then there'll be 7 games before that. So there's you guys have had 21
No,
games.
no. We've done 14 streams altogether. 7 have not been recorded.
Yeah, so 21
Wait, we've
games
had that many
altogether.
games?
Yeah, 21.
I
Right?
felt like
Yeah.
it feels like we've only had like 14 sessions. Like it doesn't. It feels like a lot has happened, but I don't feel like we've played.
We've
that
had
much.
21 sessions. We've had 14 sessions. What?
Wait, have you said
God,
we've
that sounds wrong though, because
have we streamed
We've
14
already-
times? No, we haven't streamed 14 times. No, we've
Oh.
streamed
Haven't
7.
14 times.
Okay, this-
Altogether, we've had 14 sessions.
I thought
Gotcha,
you.
gotcha,
I thought
yeah.
you made it. I understood that you said that we streamed for 14
No,
sessions.
no,
That's
no.
what I thought too. Yeah.
We've only been playing for 3 months.
Yeah, hold on. No,
Work
that
together.
was me not saying things correctly. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Oh my goodness, yeah. But hey, we've got many more to go. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Mm,
We've
oh,
got
yeah.
3 more years, Gabe. Get fucking ready.
I'm ready.
I need to get ready.
You sound like you're going to rush up and start putting on a dress or something. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm going. I'm going.
That
I'm
is like
gone.
commitment, bro. You can't just leave ever.
It's really funny
Yeah.
because initially when it was proposed to me as well with when Sheriff was asking, you know, if I could play this game with you guys, she was like, "Yeah, they just want to try one game and just play that game." And I was like, "Okay, interesting, and we'll see how that goes." And in my head, I was like, "Well, we're gonna play probably about 3 or 4 games, but
Yeah. No.
No.
Jokes on
Oh.
all of
It's-
you.
It's a lifetime gig
Yeah,
now.
sorry.
Here's how D&D goes, guys.
Sorry.
You
I
start
mean-
one session and it ends up being like 40, and that's just how it is. You can't control it.
Also,
It-
Inflatable Cat, it is a very fun group. They're a very, very wholesome group. All the groups are. It's interesting as well. Every group who are playing through the same story, but in a different, like in an alternate reality, they're all so different. They're having very different stories and very different experiences in the games. So the PB Rebellion is a very, very wholesome group. I think all the characters pretty much, even if they don't seem like it, they're all very good people. Like Patema had said. They're all quite genuine people, and they're all just kind of want to do good, which is really sweet and really wholesome. And they're all very supportive of each other, and it's very lovely and very, very heartwarming. And then you've got the Yeeters, and they don't really have any healers in their group. And they lob off heads, and they're like real kind of hardcore, grungy adventurers. They're becoming more and more grizzled. A good comparison for them is like the JoJo group in Stardust Crusaders. They're all these jacked, really strong individuals, chugging healing potions, getting drunk, and they keep. It's like a huge, this constantly ongoing dungeon crawl for them, fighting monsters, barely coming out alive, and patching themselves up. And they're quite a small group. There's only 4 of them. There's a new member now, so there's 5 of them, played by Patema. And they're a real classic group, I think. And then you've got the beta questers. I keep calling them that. A lot of them don't like it, but they've been playing this story for about 3 years with me. So they're the first ones who played through this whole universe and this whole world, and they're playing like the human versions of themselves, but they're no longer really themselves anymore. And they are, I have to say, they're like all over the place. Their biggest enemy is themselves. Even though the world is ending and everything is falling to pieces, they can't for the life of them make a single decision and agree on a single decision. It's really entertaining. So most of our sessions are them discussing things. And it's funny, I was trying to think, like, is it also just from all the shit that they've been through, and if it's from all the struggles that they've had, and it's just they're so beaten. There is that part of it as well, that they're just really done. But at the same time, they've been arguing since the very first session, like when they first all met. So it's like, yeah, like in the very first game we played, it was in a cyberpunk world where they're playing their human selves in a future world, and they met Patema's character for the first time, and they didn't trust her at all. They thought she was a spy, and they started hanging her over a building, like by the throat, and they were going to drop her off the building. So that's like how they started off. That was them, and they've been like that all the way through. But they're the best. They're fantastic. They're extremely powerful. They're like deities walking around, blowing people up.
Angrily at each other as well.
But Amy
Once
does
you have
say,
the power of a deity, you just get angry at everything.
it's been really interesting watching their progression. But Amy says there that she wishes that she was D&D her. She was the D&D Amy version of herself. She was amazing. She's such an amazing character. She's the mom of the group, and she's giving some bit of
I
ground.
love Amy.
Yeah, she's amazing. But she said she was her without the trauma, because all the characters in that group have experienced so much trauma at this stage. Amy's character, she runs a whole school now. She owns a whole school for lost children, and she trains them how to use magic and how to defend themselves. It's basically the X-Men school, and she is Professor X.
Xavier.
Yeah, she's Charles Xavier. And she's now got horns coming out of her head, and she's got flame shoes, and she's a druid and a werewolf and a little bit of a barbarian, and she is slightly feral, and yeah, she's a cool character. And
Oh my gosh.
in the group there is Cahill. He plays Cedric, who is a very old gold dragonborn wizard man, who is quite troubled. He's lost his family a long time ago. You haven't really figured out that story so far, but oh wait, I'll come down shortly. I'll go down. Yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna have to call the stream now. I'm gonna go down for dinner. But this was a lot of fun, so I might do this another time. Yeah.
Woo!
And yes, Amy says I'm right. She is amazing. You are amazing, Amy.
You're amazing. Yes, but we're gonna.
But yes, Inflatable Cat, please join us on Sunday, and anyone else who wants to join. And we'll be going back to the Yeeter group on the 29th, I think, and then we'll hopefully level off and stabilize and everything else. But yeah, we'll see if the PB Rebellion can defeat Sesenek, who is this evil demon lord who they released, or who has been released previously, and now they have to face him before they can finally leave the weird.
We just want a tavern.
Yeah, they just want to go to tavern. I promise I'll try my best to get you to a tavern as soon as I can. All right, bye everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Bye.
And yeah, love you all. Bye.